Good evening, America. I am the Big Red One guy reminding you that together we must break the machine. Well, we often see on TV, we watch people, some of our favorite people stumping for some of our favorite candidates, or even some of the candidates we have to kind of stick our nose up in the air and deal with them because they're the best we have. Well, tonight we have a guest that's going to be able to talk to us about what it's like, okay, to stump for a candidate, a very good candidate, unfortunately, that didn't get elected. But, that's another talk show that we're going to talk about a little bit later in the show. We're also going to address the whole Miss Universe thing, which is a great thing to see that it's not a transformer this year. That's also pretty neat. And many other things that we usually discuss. We discuss all range of topics on this show. If you're joining us for the first time, it should be a good night. And just remember that this show is a echo chamber of like-minded folk with some variance of opinion on things. All right, so we're all here to have a good time. And if you're in the chat, make sure that you ask questions of the panel, and we'll answer them. And we do the best we can to get back at you. All right. So without further ado, let's bring in, okay, Reddaywalker and our guest, a new friend of the show, an American Latina. What's going on, folks? How are we doing tonight? Um, American Latina, go ahead and introduce yourself to our chat.
Yes. Hi, guys. So excited to be here with all of you today. My name is Gabriela Escudero, and I'm an American Latina. I love to talk about my experience here. I came from immigrant parents, and I'm an American, so I'm the perfect person to talk about it.
Awesome. So, oh, well, sorry, Red Day. Say what's up. I'm sorry, Red Day. I didn't mean to cut you off,
Oh
bro.
no, it's all good. I think people know who I am.
I'm sorry.
I
Well,
mean,
you know me. If I don't shut up, I'll
I'm
talk
good.
the whole night.
No, that's
Well,
good.
anyway, Gabriela, I really appreciate you coming on tonight. It's going to be a really, really good night and some really good information to give people. And the reason I want people to hear this information is because even though we won this election here in 2024, we still have 2026 and we have 2028. And I'd like people to get an understanding of what it's like to actually, be out on the campaign, with some of these candidates and what it is that we need to make sure that we can help out, especially, me, I'll use my mouth to do whatever I can. But some other people, if we can get them involved, the more people we have involved, the more we help the candidates that we're trying to elect. So if you can tell us what it was like, for you, where you started, and what got you motivated to get into campaigning and stumping for, and make sure you obviously mention the candidates that you stumped for.
Yes, definitely. Wow, what a journey 2024 was for me. I had actually never been involved in the political space on campaigning. So when he's saying stumping, he means campaigning, going from door to door, talking to
Mhm.
families about who these candidates are and why we want to get them elected. And so I did actually get to go from state to state and to different states, but Nevada is my hometown, and I'm actually representing Nevada today. And in Nevada, I was able to campaign for a lot of different um, candidates. However, Sam Brown was one of the major ones, was the major one, and he was running for the US Senate. So basically, what he would do is go from Nevada to Washington, D.C. to represent us. Our current US Senator is a Democrat. Her name is Jackie Rosen. And so we didn't really agree with a lot of her policies, and they really turned Nevada upside down economically. A lot of our Nevadan families were struggling because of it. So we decided we were going to come against that, and we wanted to get someone else elected. Captain Sam Brown is amazing. His wife, Amy Brown, they have such a powerful story. And so we went from door to door talking to people. He's actually originally from Reno. If you don't know, in Nevada, we have Las Vegas, of course, but we have Reno. He lives in Reno. So he was like the golden child there. But here in Las Vegas, he wasn't really too known. So we, like they just mentioned, went stomping. I mean, we went from door to door. We were talking to families about him, what he wanted to do for the economy. He was looking to really fix the economy here in Nevada, and it's so crazy how people don't understand how important local races are. Local races are very, very important. Because, right, have you guys ever like noticed everyone's always about the presidential, but what about your local state representatives? And that's what I wanted to really help people understand was, hey, you have to understand that we need to have people in different chairs also representing us, because we have the House and we have the Senate. But people don't know this, especially in the Hispanic community, because a lot of the times we don't really like know how does a presidency even work, right? How does
Mhm.
government even work? Who is
Well,
elected? We don't.
a
Yeah,
lot
we
a
don't
lot of that
understand.
has to do with everybody, they're watching Univision and Telemundo, and they're not watching anything else. And even if they speak perfectly good English, a lot of them are watching the wrong channels, and and not doing the research that they need to find out, especially locally. Locally, Scott and I have stressed that, even before this election, about how important local elections are, and that we can't change anything as a populace, all right, if we don't change anything locally, you know. Um,
Right. That's right. And that's why, I didn't really think about getting involved. It just happened. I actually was offered an opportunity to work with an organization. It was a Hispanic, more niche type of community. So you would reach out to the Hispanic community. And what I loved about this organization is that they were different. They weren't Democratic or Republican. They didn't identify, but they have conservative values. And to me, I thought that was amazing because Hispanics you can't just tell them this is what we believe. You have to identify with them and they have to be able to trust you to really understand what you're trying to say. And so, just being able to bring that across was super awesome. But I didn't know what campaigning was. Okay. So when I found out I had to go door to door, I was like, hold on, you're telling me I have to go talk to people at their doors? Like, that's crazy. But then I fell in love with it because I was changing hearts and minds. Like, you guys, I seriously would talk to families. And sometimes, like, for example, coming from California, and they were like, oh, no, no, I don't believe in politics. And then I'm like, well, you came here from California for a reason, right? And then they would start telling me like, yeah, I pay so much, da da da, and then I would be able to explain why they had to come from California to Nevada, and then they started to understand that politics really matters in their life. And hearing that people were changing their minds on who were they going to vote for, they would go from thinking, oh, we're not going to vote for no one because the Democrats haven't been there for us, but then explaining to them why it is that they haven't been there and what Republicans or conservatives want to do, they were like, oh yeah, they have my vote. So those conversations face to face are everything, guys.
yeah, I think, unfortunately, a lot of we get overlooked as what do you call it, a populace, because they think we're, as a citizenry, because they think we're a monolith when we vote, because so many of us have voted, well, not me, because I've never been on that plantation, nor my family, have voted on the left. And what they don't understand is that that's like mainly in urban areas, but when you get outside of urban areas, Latinos are completely different. All right, we don't want to deal with the city, we don't want to deal with the bullshit of the rat race of any city. And I think as a whole, even the ones that are like a little bit more progressive, okay, we still have our Christian values, we still have very conservative values. We just have to embrace them more. And we saw that this election, that a lot of Latinos just opened up their eyes and were like, yeah, we're not going with this shit anymore. A lot of young Latinos came out. So I know
Yep.
you reached out to
It's
the
true.
Latin community, but I would assume that, like, overall in Nevada, you were just knocking on everybody's door.
Yeah, so 45% of Hispanics, to be exact, went Republican, and that's a historic number. We've never seen
It
that
is.
happen before, right?
Huge.
And so that was insane. So crazy thing, I knew Trump was going to win because here in Nevada, first of all, listen, I'm not going to talk about whether someone won an election or not. What I will say is in Nevada in 2016, I did see a lot of people standing up for voting for Trump. I did see that. So
Mm.
I knew that this time around, Nevada was going to go red. And I didn't only knock doors for the Hispanic community, I also knocked doors overall. And it
Yeah.
was insane the amount of people that were definitely like, we're he has my vote. Like they have my vote because they just knew that they didn't want a Democrat in those seats. However, like you mentioned, going to the different houses, it just depends like the conversation. Some people would slam their doors, some people would like, I remember one person like I knocked on the door and he opens the door, and I'm like, excuse me, I had already put the flyer on the door. And so he grabs it and he like throws it at me. He's like, "Did you put this here?"
Yeah.
And I'm just like, ah, like it was so horrible to experience those moments. I mean, I think one time, literally, I almost like I kept going, but there was like someone who did have the gun, more for safety reasons, because they're like, "Who's coming to my door?"
Right. Right. Yeah.
Um,
I think it was more of they
I
see
have no
people coming
idea.
through, they don't know what the hell's going on. Who's
yes,
knocking on my
yes,
door right now, you know?
yep, yep.
Um,
A lot of people don't
Well,
even
we did
answer
have
their
like a
doors.
huge volunteer force out there. We had every day I would get I had a rental, like a van, so we could fit as many people in there. And
mm,
then I would get food, like snacks and all that. It's hot out here, so lots of waters,
Yeah.
hydration stuff, all that. And our youth team would literally run from door to door. And when they would see like the Democrats knocking on doors, they were like, "Oh, we're gonna go harder." So it was just so fun at the same time to see how we were able to pour into our youth, how important this is for our community.
he got a lot of the youth vote too. A lot of younger Gen Z, older Gen A, and actually even some younger millennials came out and voted for him. So that voting block has actually shifted considerably. A lot of that has to do with not being able to afford food for their families, not being
Mhm.
able to afford a house, can't make a car payment, whatever it is. So even rent, even if you don't have any of that and you're trying to rent an apartment, it's been really tough. So what have you seen? I mean, because this shift that has happened with the Republican Party has actually, I hope it changes the Republican Party forever. This is something that I have always wanted to, you know, I've always wanted to see. Just I've always known that the Republican Party is the party of the worker, right? It's not really the Democratic Party, all right. And I've always known that they were the party of the elite, but we never acted that way. So, what did you see? Did you travel to any other states, by the way, other than Nevada?
I did. I got to go to Iowa. To actually for like the first caucus happens in Iowa. I got to be there and speak for the caucus,
Mhm.
so that was pretty cool. I did get to go to Tennessee. I went to I don't know, like a couple different ones. Where else did I go? I'm like, where else did I go? And talking to people was just different. In Iowa, it was my absolute favorite because in Iowa, people they're used to politics out there. So they're very welcoming. They'll open the door for you. They'll like invite you in. Yeah, but let me tell you, it was negative 34 degrees, the coldest caucus in history. And it was a blizzard. And it was horrible knocking doors in a blizzard. I got to show y'all some pictures and videos. But you can go check all that out on my page. It was insane, y'all. But we did it. We knew it was important.
That's awesome, though.
Got anything, Scott, for her?
I was gonna say, I wish more people. I wish they'd spend more time, doing the knocking on doors aspect of it. I know that's because that's where a lot of the hearts and minds are. You get a chance to actually talk to people one on one about stuff. Like during the lead up to the election, I ended up having to go up to my mom's for a funeral up in New Hampshire, and while I was there, she had pollsters come into her door. I think honestly, I think it was like 3 times in 2 weeks. This was about like a month before the election. About 3 times they had volunteers knocking on the door and asking, wanted to talk to her. These were all Kamala um, pollsters too. Um, and each time, my mom was polite with them. She said, "Oh, I don't really want to talk to you, but it's okay." They were polite back. But they were going hard, and they ended up winning New Hampshire. And I was just thinking, all the time I was down here in Florida, I didn't have one person come to my door, not one. And I don't know if not for either side. And I don't know if that's maybe just something they're not doing in Florida as much, but I wish they would. You know, I wish they would
No,
because I think we could
you know
achieve
what?
more people.
I got more texts than anything, and I was getting texts from Kamala's campaign constantly, and I would always respond with like, tell your commie overlords they can eat a bag of dicks or some shit like that, and then they'd be like, "Oh, thank you very much for your response." It's like, yeah, don't
Probably a bot
essentially.
anyway.
Yeah, it was, and then I would hit stop afterwards after I got their response, so I can just laugh and chuckle, and then hit stop. So like but then like another number would call me with her stuff and everything. I'd give them the same thing or a variant of "Go eat a bag of dicks, you call me bastards," and stuff. So it's just something else. Um, so we know you campaigned for you stumped for Sam Brown and stuff like that, and he obviously didn't win, which I really thought we had a shot with him and stuff like that. But as we know, there's a lot of shenanigans still going on, and they're still counting in Nevada. So what do you know about that? About the counting and where we're still at in Nevada and in California? We expect it from California, but it looks like Nevada's still up to the same stuff.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. That was crazy because the day of the election, I was at the Sam Brown gathering, and we're waiting, we're counting, we're on the West Coast, so everyone's already counted. Nevada hasn't moved 1 inch, and I'm just like, what in the world? But then we start to see Nevada finally roll in, and it's red. It's absolutely red, right? Well, Sam Brown is literally about 20,000 votes ahead that night. That night of the election, he would have won Nevada, and he would have been our US Senator if we would have closed and we would have been done. No, that's not what happened. 6 days after Nevada had already finished, they announced that Jackie Rosen had won because she surpassed him like 30,000 votes or something. And I was just like, oh my gosh. So if you don't know, there's this thing called curing ballots. So
Right.
what happens is after the election, they go and they start calling people. Hey, your vote didn't count. We need you to call and confirm your signature. So literally that's what we were doing. So I still was going till after the election, calling people. We needed to make sure that in Nevada we won at least one seat, because Governor Lombardo here in the state of Nevada, he is a Republican governor. However, he is one seat away, or was one seat away from losing his veto power, which was why it was so important that we were fighting for local
Mhm.
races, because imagine your governor has lost veto power and all your seats are Democrat. You're going to
Yeah.
be able to pass whatever you want. So
Yeah.
it
It's
was
like
it was
In
insane.
North Carolina, the Republicans have a supermajority, and they just keep sticking it to Cooper, their governor, and then they just, for whatever reason, the people in North Carolina just elected another Democrat
Yeah,
governor.
why?
But they have a supermajority in their state legislature. The Republicans do, so it doesn't matter what the governor does. He can do executive orders like any governor can, but when it comes to legislation that they want to get passed, if he vetoes it, they'll just be able to override him and stuff like that. So your governor in Nevada was facing that this last election.
Correct. And that's why, you know, honestly, he was a little bit more under the radar. He's overpowered. He's completely overpowered, but us Nevadans, and we are strong out here. We're loud, we're bold. A lot of us are, and we're gonna use our voices just like you said. Big Red, I love what you said. You said, I'm gonna use my voice and I'm gonna make sure that I say something. I feel the same exact way. I feel that, unfortunately, Nevada, I've been in Nevada forever. Okay, I was born in California. However, I was raised in Nevada, in Las Vegas. And let me tell you that when I said that we struggled, we struggled. Okay, like economically, it was horrific. I had people that owned businesses who were really well off, who had great cars and everything, that had to downgrade their cars and had to downgrade their lifestyle because they could not make ends meet. And I was so shocked by that. It was insane. Nevada gets hit the hardest.
And now is it because of like it's a big state for like service and stuff like that and everything? I mean, you got a lot of hourly workers there in the state, especially in Vegas, because you have casinos and stuff like that. And you got what's the union out there? Is it the SEIU or whatever is one of the unions that deals with the service workers and stuff like that? So I mean, I could only imagine. But
What's
again,
one thing that people stop doing when there's no money?
yeah, you can't
They
gamble
stopped
and stuff like that,
taking
right?
yeah, they stopped taking vacations, and Las Vegas is a vacation
Yeah.
place. And so,
Yeah.
the economy definitely got hit hard, or even bringing stuff from different like our goods, our food, our products, everything takes longer to get here, so it just costs more.
Sucks.
Wow. And then you guys Aren't you guys giving water to like California or something like that too, or whatever like that? I mean, I know California, they're just in a bad place overall. I don't know what they're gonna do in Cali.
Let's
Um,
all pray for California, please.
yeah, we gotta pray. I will say this though, this last election, um, there was a huge shift to the right in a lot of the counties in California, and the numbers are there and they can get better, but it's going to take a massive effort. It's the same thing in New York. We're seeing that he got. I mean, the shift in New York City alone on Manhattan Island, okay, which is like overwhelmingly progressive, and they vote Democrat like 99% of the times. The shift on just Manhattan Island was just insane in this last election. So the method is there to maybe make some moves for the next couple of elections, but it's really up to us. And again, it has to happen on these local levels, all right? Because if it doesn't really matter what we do nationally, we can, Scott has said it a million times, I have said it a million times. If we don't give Trump the workhorses to get the job done, he'd still be a lame duck president. So we happen to have the workhorses,
Mhm.
although, the uniparty, the rhinos in the uniparty are doing what they can right now to make things difficult. They're lining up to make things difficult for him to get shit done in his 4 years because they're scumbags and they're ass maggots.
Oh man,
Excuse me.
speaking of different states, yeah, like there's people from different states who really tried to come against in every state, like what you said, the rhinos, what people call those like Republicans who are really not Republicans, and they make it hard for them to be able to, or the Republican Party be able to pass anything. And you almost wonder what what side are you on? Like are we working together or not? It's
Mhm.
like, man, like, can we come to an agreement? But what I will say, the one state that shocked me, guys, was Michigan. Michigan shocked me. I
Yeah.
really thought that Michigan was gonna go blue because of their Democratic
Mhm.
governor, the most Democratic governor ever,
Yeah.
and they went red. I was like, this is how you
Uh,
know the country needs help.
Scott and I did some picks
He lost.
the week before the election, and I won. No, don't try that shit. I won. I got them all right except for New Hampshire. I had New Hampshire
He
wrong,
did
and
better.
the reason I went with New
Wow,
Hampshire, I said 316 to whatever the number was, and it ended up being 312 because New Hampshire's 4.
wow, that's
So I was off by
amazing.
4, but Scott had it
Mhm.
like 296 to something, and he had him winning New York and Virginia and everything like that. And I was like, that's ballsy, man.
I was going for it.
He's like, this
I
is my
wanted
dream board.
I wanted to believe. I
Yeah.
had him winning New York and like losing places like Michigan and Pennsylvania, like they didn't even count. And who knew he was going to go out and take all the swing states? Who could have predicted that? I mean, except
I just saw it, man. I just
Eric.
felt it. I felt it, man. Well, there was not just me. A lot of people had that same feeling. It just the energy that
Yeah.
was leading up to the election was just phenomenal, and it just felt right. It's reasons why I felt like I thought Sam Brown was going to win. In Nevada, I really because I knew we were going to win Nevada. Trump was going to win it, so I felt like that coattail was going to be a good thing for Sam Brown. And unfortunately, the shenanigans are happening once again,
Mm.
and they're doing those last minute dumps that they do. That's what
Mhm.
happened. That is what has happened everywhere that we have seen, where people that were winning, again, Republicans that were winning, have now lost their seats. Um,
Yeah.
Carrie Lake again, she was right there. She was right there in it. All right, but but yeah, we've talked about it on
Mm.
this show.
So
I can tell you
frustrating.
right now that that McCain, that Marxist McCain machine that exists still in Arizona has been devastating to the Republican Party in Arizona. They have got their heads so far up their asses that they don't want to do anything. If it's not machine related, they're gonna ruin you. So if it's they you saw what they did, right? They heard her
Ugh.
when she was trying to become the governor. Okay. They went along with all the shit with fucking machines going down and everything like that. They went along with all of that. They didn't challenge anything, and they won't do that. And again, that's that McCain machine that's out there.
Yeah, no, and
No,
Carrie Lake is great. I was shocked. Go ahead, go ahead.
no, I was just going to say, I don't understand how they broke for Trump on the night of the election. Like
It's just
all this other bullshit going on in the state. I honestly did. That was why I was just not confident with him. Like I was more confident in him winning
I know.
Nevada than
I
I
know
was
you
Arizona.
picked him losing Arizona, but he won that too.
Did
It's the split
I was
ticket
shocked.
thing always amazes me, but like again, it's that machine in freaking in Arizona, that McCain machine. his daughter and his wife, his widow, okay, have what do you call it? They still have a considerable voice in that state, and they listen to them those two hags, and they have absolutely destroyed the Republican Party. Maybe there's some hope because I'm not in Arizona, so like I'm not on the ground there to know exactly. You're in Nevada, you're a lot closer. You probably have more connections in Arizona than I would ever have, And Rogue Nina's with us. Hi, Rogue.
Yeah.
Um, so it's just I don't know. I don't
Well,
know.
with Arizona, excuse me, with Arizona, they're like you mentioned, they're still counting. I was shocked. I was shocked that Carrie Lake didn't win. I'm like, how could she not win? Like she's amazing, right? She was like one of the main people for him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I was pretty shocked. But anyways, same thing with Sam Brown. I was shocked. I was like, man, great story. People loved them and everything. But you know what happened when we were calling people when we were curing ballots? They're like, oh, President Trump already won. Like that's all I cared
Right.
about.
Right.
Again, people don't understand local races, right?
Right.
But I remember the first time I ever voted, when I went, I'm like, hold on, like I'm voting for more than a president. Who are these people?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, there's questions. Like, what are these questions? Like, I don't know. So I told myself, I vowed to myself, I will never come vote again without knowing what this is about,
Right.
because I felt
Right.
like I was almost giving my vote away to people I didn't even know. And so, yeah, it's really important, really, really important to know who you're going to vote for. Get involved in your local races, local representatives. When I went to our university, UNLV, the day of voting, I went a couple times before that too. I just mentioned there's also questions. There was questions that we were coming against, and we wanted to make sure that did not pass or did pass. And we were out there in the universities and we were talking to people, a lot of Kamala Harris supporters, and they had get this, guys, they had pins that said just fucking vote. And I'm like, don't just fucking vote. Like, go, you learn who you're gonna vote for, like don't give your vote away. And then they were giving out free shirts and they had like this announcement thing, and I'll show you the video so you can show people. And they're like, "Oh, come get your free donuts and your hot girl vote shirts." And I mean, they were handing out rainbow shirts that said "Hot Girls Vote." No American flag, no patriot, nothing. Just
Yeah.
a
Well.
bunch of colorful things with donuts.
Well, that's the Marxist left, right? I always call them the American Communist Party. They're no longer the Democrats to me. They're a conglomerate of special interest groups, and that's what they're gonna do, right? So they put hot girl on there, but their rainbow is meant for something else, not for hot girls,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just a terrible thing. So now you stumped for Sam Brown, which is for the U.S. Senate. Who did you stump for locally again?
Yeah, so for him, also Rafael Arroyo, he did not win, unfortunately. He was a Latino out here, went against another Latina. But then we had um, Dawson, and then we had, I'm like, we have so many. We had Lori Rogic. Um, so those are the ones that I ended up campaigning for. And then I
Mhm.
also helped with question 6. So question 6, what that's in regards is to abortion. If y'all did not know, Nevada is actually legally able to have women can have abortions up to the 6th month. Well, Nevada thought that wasn't enough. They wanted to push for a full term abortion. Plus, get this, if they pass question 6, which did pass, however, we have 2 more years to be able to stop it. If it passes, minors will be able to have abortions without the parental consent. Imagine you have a child who is 14, maybe was, I don't know, abused and then is forced to get an abortion without your consent. Like that's scary. That's scary. So
They,
we know that this agenda is further than just abortions. They're coming for our kids and we're not going to allow that.
they were trying
It's
to do that in Florida this term or this cycle.
Right.
There was a big abortion question on the election for the voters, and it would have
you
given
know
them parental consent, and it
it's
also
fun.
would have allowed them to. I don't remember what week it was, but it was some ridiculous late term
Yeah.
crap.
Full term.
But thankfully, it
Mhm.
didn't pass. Thankfully, it didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it did not pass in a couple states, but it
well,
passed here, unfortunately. So
I
pray
I
for
actually don't know what happened to the one that I voted for no here in New York. It was essentially the same thing along the same lines. and the what do you call it? It was not only just abortion; they wanted to codify it in the Constitution, like some of the other states have done in their state constitutions. But I think it had to do with the transformer shit and letting
Yeah.
boys and men be in women's spaces and little girl spaces and stuff like that.
Oh
So
yeah.
I stopped paying attention because, like, as the chat knows, and, like, Scott knows, I'm leaving New York anyway. But I definitely, on my way out, I voted no on that shit, and I'm just like, hopefully I got to look into that to see if hey, Jonathan, can you do me a favor, bro? It was I think I want to say it was Proposition 1. I think it was here in the state of New York. Can you find out? But Jonathan's on mod, by the way. Chat, if those, say hi to him. Um and hang on, wait, this is for you, Gabriela. This is from Rosie Rivera. She's like family to me. I mean, I've known her for, like,
Oh,
forever.
that's
She's
good.
like she's my cousin. We call each other cousin all the time. She wants to get involved. So if you know how she's in Illinois, okay, and if you know how to help her get involved in Illinois, please, let me
Yes, yes.
let me know, and I'll pass it on to her because I'm in direct contact with her.
Mhm.
Yeah, look me up at an American Latina. You'll find me there. If you have any questions, you can find me there as well.
Are you on? I don't think she's on Instagram anymore. Are you on any of the other Truth or
Yep.
anything like that? Okay.
Yes, you can look at my personal, and that's I am Gabby Escudero, or you can do an American Latina.
I love you too, Rosie. She, she's she's my prima. I'm telling you, like,
Aw,
we talk all the time and stuff like that. Not only just chat, like, we call each other up. She's straight up family.
yeah, take care of the
I got
prima.
she's more family to me than some of my own family members, unfortunately. Well, maybe fortunately. Prop 1 in New York was the Equal Rights Amendment. Yes, they labeled it as an Equal Rights Amendment, Jonathan, but it was really a transformer amendment and an
Yeah.
abortion amendment.
They never label exactly what it is, do they?
Yeah. Yeah, I voted
Never.
no on that shit because it had nothing to do with equal rights.
Yeah.
I was
Oh,
gonna say the language was absolutely ridiculous. Let's talk about the language on stuff.
go
I mean,
Mhm.
ahead,
people
spill it.
thought they were voting for something completely different. I'm like, this is not what this means.
Yeah. They do that all over the place. And it's making it was sickening to see you're just driving and you see billboards that just are making stuff up. You see the endless ads. That's the one blessing that I felt we all got just when November 4th came and went. It's like the end to this nonstop political
No more
garbage
ads.
ads. I mean, I got tired of both sides. I was sick. It was like every other ad, and I don't even watch TV. I barely watch it, and even on social media, it's just like you go everywhere. It's just political ad, political ad, political ad. It's like,
Rosie,
oh
you
my
put your email
god.
in there, you said? Okay, I also gotta, what do you call it? I gotta catch up on some of these chats because the chat's going crazy. So I gotta make sure we gotta put some of them up. Shit, I gotta go back a little bit.
Hmm.
All right, because I love it. I love the interaction. I can't go back too far, guys. So let's see. Let's try to get it. We'll start with Conserve Reality says, governors that want to rebel against the sitting president of the USA are corrupt bureaucrats destroying major cities and with hyper taxing suburbs to pay for city gross expenditures. Amen, brother. That ain't no fucking
Mhm.
lie. Um,
It's true.
and then Jonathan. Jonathan is our mod, okay, and he's the best. Like, his comments are always hilarious because I know my Ohio General Assembly member. He has some nice ARs. Jessica Velez, a shout out from Vegas. Hi, Jessica. I'm so glad. I've never seen you before, so I'm gonna say hi to you. Please say hi to everybody else, and please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications so you know when my videos drop and when this what do you call it, podcast is on. Um, what do you call it? Scott Tampa. This is when we were talking about the accounting. Scott's a regular in here with us on the weekends. I love him too, man. He's always got some good insight. Scott Tampa. I can't believe that shit either. And then here, you be able to answer this. Conserve Reality says Nevada Supreme Court literally said ballots, even without a postmark, will be counted. Even after Election Day, the fact that they made distinctions about signatures shows they just threw ballots. Yeah, we actually, remember, Scott, we actually reported on that. Remember on one of our shows we did, we
Mhm.
talked about that. And that's something that's going on. Uh, hang on. Let's see where we got literally the difference between East and West. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to catch up here. And yep, Rogue Nina, we feel this way too. That Carrie won again. She got fucking cheated once again. That Arizona machine is absolutely disgusting. Maricopa County is just as
Yeah,
bad as
I don't
Philly and
understand.
Philadelphia.
If you were voting for, that's one question we just always have. It seems like every year. If you were voting for Trump, why wouldn't you just vote, Republican all the way down the ticket? Like I can
It
understand
may,
people who actually don't want to vote for Trump because maybe he
but
rubs them the wrong way. But
but
if you're on board with Trump, what's
a
that? Go
lot of
ahead.
time a lot of times too, Scott, what Gabriela said, okay? They only voted for Trump when they were trying when she said it. They were trying to cure ballots, right? It's like, hey, did you here's your ballot, okay? We're trying to cure this. Oh, I only voted for Trump. That's all I care about. They didn't care about anybody
Mm,
else. So they may have not even filled it in. All right. So that's still a vote for the
no,
other person if you didn't fill in, right? So it's like that's just how it goes. Uh, Robert Lucero, he drops in every now and then. We love him. Both parties cheat to keep power in the establishment. Amen. We can't deny that.
that
Um,
is true.
you know, um, Rogue
Yep.
Nina, hot liberal women exist. Yeah, they're like unicorns. Fucking love her. uh, and then hang on. I already showed that one. Wait a minute. Jessica Velez. She says, Lorena, I can't see that. I can't even see that because the Biciati for the school district Republican. I voted for her and she won. Keeping boys
Yes.
out of girls' bathrooms and sports. Again,
Yes.
this goes to the lead. This goes to what we talk about local elections, and what we didn't even hit that yet. We're gonna hit that. We're gonna hit that, Jessica. I promise about school boards. We're gonna get into that too. Jonathan says that the left love that without parental consent crap because they hate the family. The family is the only roadblock to communism. Amen to that. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, I read that. I kind of read that to myself. Hang on. Here we go. Conserve Reality says they made language poor to give them the greatest amount of leeway. It's to create slippery slope arguments. Yeah, it's true.
They're like low information voters.
Yeah. Yep. It's true. And this is true. All right. I agree with you on this, Robert Lucero. And they get to cheat. One of the reasons they get to cheat on the local levels is because, like what Gabriella was saying, okay? She was saying that what do you call it? You know, they're trying to cure votes to see who these people voted for, and they only voted for Trump. And they didn't even vote for any local elections. So like whoever's already there and they get to stay in power, if they suck donkey dick, they're gonna continue to suck donkey dick. All right, we're kind of caught up there. Sorry. So Jessica, you were talking about the school board. You voted for a Republican there. The school boards are very, 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 very important. Okay, because we have. I've talked ad nauseum on my shows, and Jonathan could freaking Jonathan could echo what I'm saying. We talked ad nauseum about how Marxist infiltration has absolutely infiltrated everywhere, every institution here in the United States. Okay, and they've been doing that since the turn of the 19th century, going into the 20th century, and the schools are completely and totally taken over. So school boards are very, very important. As we saw during COVID, parents finally got to see what was going on and what their kids were being taught when they should have been paying attention this whole time. All right, and a lot of fights happened across the country. It wasn't just like in places like Loudoun County, Virginia, where they constantly showed a big fight going on there, and stuff like that. So that's very important. School boards are
Yes.
very,
Yes.
very
Yes.
important.
Very, very important. Jessica, you're absolutely amazing. You voted for the right people. Lorena Basadi won, and so did Lydia Dominguez. And those two women are going to clean up that school board. Let me tell you, they have amazing plans. These women have been involved in Nevada to make sure. I mean, I'm a homeschool mom, y'all. I have 4 kids. I homeschool all of them because the public school system in Nevada is trash. It's disgusting. It's sad. It's what it is. And so it hasn't been easy. I've struggled a lot to homeschool my kids, but it's been worth it. I'll tell you that because I have seen the craziest things. But oh boy, am I so glad that Lydia and Lorena won because they're going to be doing some amazing things to make sure that our children are being taken care of. Because CCSD tried to do some shady stuff, bringing in some crazy stuff into the public school system.
Yeah, our public school systems are just, they're ripe with corruption like every other institution we have. Um, you know, uh, I think let's see, Rosie says that, and I think this is from the COVID comment. She says, I think that a lot of eyes opened up. I think you're right. You're absolutely correct, Rosie, on that. A lot of people got to see, they looked into behind the curtain a little bit and got to see what was going on. And this is very important what Jessica says here. Sorry, Jessica, I'm going to put you back up. I accidentally hit it. She says, I made sure I did my homework and voted Republican all the way down the ticket. Now, let me tell you something what goes on in some states, but definitely goes on in mine, right? So in my state, if a candidate is running uncontested, they could put their name in the other, on the other party's ticket, okay? They petition to do that. The Board of Elections always lets them do that, right? So for instance, for me, in my election, I'm part of the Conservative Party here in New York. I knew who all the conservatives were, okay, who were running, but there was one person who wasn't on a conservative ballot but was endorsed by the conservatives, and I knew who he was. He was local to me, actually to my district where I'm at, so I kind of knew his politics already. I knew where he was. I knew what his votes were and everything, so I was able to vote for him. But he didn't petition to be a conservative because he was like, I've never run as a conservative, and he didn't feel it was right to do that, which was fine. So he still got endorsed by the Conservative Party because his voting habits have been nothing but conservative in his district and stuff like that. So, you have to really pay attention to your ballot, and it's very important to understand that the ballots come out very, very early in your state, okay, months in advance. The ballots come out, they get solidified, all right, and they get put in place of who's going to be on the ticket for all parties, because it's not only just R&D. You'll have independents, and a state like New Hampshire is mainly independents, so like every party is on there, whoever's running. So it's very, very important to do what you did, Jessica, is to just, you looked at who was there on the ticket and you did your due diligence. So go ahead, Scott.
Amen.
I was going to say, in a lot of states too, there's people that can run, and they don't even have to put their affiliation down after their name. That was actually one of the questions that I'm surprised passed on here in Florida about school board members. The measure was, do school board members, are they required to put a D or an R after their name? And it actually passed to say no, they do not have to. So that means you have to do research on them. Um, I was only like a year or two younger than I am right now when I realized that I didn't even know judges had political affiliations. And you
Yes.
can't, if you go look at like local judges, I'm not talking about like the ones that the president assigns, but like the
Yeah.
ones you're voting for your local areas, you can't, it's not simply able to like look them up, Google them
Yeah.
and to say, oh yeah, they're
It is.
Republican. You have to dig sometimes to find out who have they donated to or who have they like had dinners with. Um, Even sheriffs sometimes, if you're voting for a sheriff, don't necessarily have it. So you gotta, that's the thing. When I never did that before the last like 4 years. Now when I go into the booth, I have like a sheet. I have
Yep.
a cheat notes, and I'm like, okay, this person and this person, this person, because I wouldn't know. I wouldn't
Yeah.
know. Even on the ballot, it doesn't say.
A lot, Scott. You hit a very, very, very important point, in particular about judges. Okay, a lot of
Mhm.
people don't understand that for like local towns and villages and stuff like that, you usually vote your judges in. Okay, it's not like
Mhm.
a governor appointing them or something like that to like the state court, but like your local down freaking your little towns that are like 700 people. Okay, you vote them in. All right, and villages and stuff like that. Even little smaller cities, a lot of them vote their judges in. So it's very, very important, okay, to understand as a judge who's going to be on the court, who's going to be making life changing decisions for people, who you're actually putting on the bench. Okay, same thing with your local DAs, right? You vote them in all the
Mhm.
time. All right, as we all know, we all saw Soros had a huge effect on DAs across the country. All right, getting a lot of his DAs appointed. A lot of them got ousted this last election, but it took all the fucking shit that they put their cities through, okay, for the last 4 years and everything like that, in order for people to be like, I got to vote them out. But these are seats in your local areas that you absolutely must pay attention to. And it's, what do you call it? It's just very important. Jessica Velez, you say you're talking to Rosie, my cousin. Yes, she's an Air Force veteran. And Jessica, I didn't know you're an Army veteran. I am an Army veteran as well. I'm also a Marine. My first stint on active duty was in the Marine Corps. My second stint was in the Army in during OIF too, in Iraq and stuff like that after 9/11. So, thank you for your service, Jessica. We appreciate it. Rosie, I always thank you for your service too. I love you. Um, so let me tell you a little, Rosie. I'm gonna tell a little story about you, okay, honey? Because American Latina said something very, very important, that she's an immigrant who came here. Rosie's an immigrant too. It took her 25 years, okay, to get her citizenship, and she served this nation honorably, okay, in the U.S. Air Force. So like that's gonna be something we're gonna segue into in a little bit later. But there's some shit going on with criminal aliens that we're gonna talk about. That's I wanted people to get to know you in this first hour, um, Gabriela, just so people know who you are, what you do, and what do you have planned going forward. By the way, what are you getting ready, getting ramped up, or ready to go for 2026?
Just last night we had a gala. You guys heard me talk about question 6, Nevada right to life is fighting to come against this. And so we're all coming together. We had a gala last night to raise funds for us to be able to come against that. So that's one thing that I'm focusing on. Another thing is I'm focusing on immigration. You just spoke about it. Actually, I have a huge passion for immigration. I have a really insane testimony. I don't know, like I have a huge passion for it. Here's the thing. I believe that immigration is going to be definitely one of the hottest topics, but it's going to be one of the biggest topics. And I believe earlier you were talking, Big Red, about okay, what happened? Why Hispanics? Why that 45%? So what happened was is that exactly what you said. People were voting for an economy. They can't buy food. They can't pay for gas. They can't. They're gonna vote for who for their pockets. They're gonna vote to be able to move their families forward. However, they might not agree in the immigration stance of deport everyone or this or that. So that's exactly what we're talking about. We're talking about all that in an American Latina because we want to get to hear from everybody because this is a really important situation that needs to be solved. But how do we solve it, right? So that's what I'm doing. I'm just bringing that knowledge and education to our community because we were taught some crazy stuff that, I've come to realize it was not so true and has brought me, excuse me, thus far. So that's what I've been working on, Big Red and Scott, just talking to our Latina community and using their voices, teaching the youth as well how they can use their voice. And I'm focusing on a digital space. So I'm just excited for what's to come.
Yeah, the immigration thing is like, I've again, uh, Rodney liked when I used ad nauseum, so I'm going to use it again. I've spoken ad nauseum about how I feel about illegal immigration. I will never be a fan of that. But here's the thing, all right? What we learned, and we learned really, really, really like what the Democrats learned is something that we already knew on the right, all right, is that most Latinos, especially those that have come here, legally or were born here, they're not all up for the whole illegal immigration shit. Okay, especially as you see what's going on in a lot of these cities where the Venezuelan gangs are taking over apartment complexes, and they don't just they start off with their own people, right? They go into these gangs, they go into the neighborhoods of their own people first. Okay, they terrorize the shit out of their own people, as we've seen. Okay, we're watching it on live TV and you've seen it real time. Then after they get developed and they get situated and they get a foundation of where they can start doing their crimes, that's when they spread out, right? They're in like 16 fucking states right now, that Venezuelan gang, okay, that we know of, all right, and like hardcore in
Yeah.
16 states, all right, and it is a disaster that happened it's been going on for a long time, but what has happened over the last 4 years with the open borders, they thought, okay, the Democratic Party thought that Hispanic communities were going to be like, yeah, yeah, just let everybody in. I'm just let them in. That didn't turn out the way they thought it was going to turn out. And I'm actually happy that and it didn't make a difference where you came from as a Latino, all right. people just got together and were like, "No, fuck this. These people are coming. They're ruining our neighborhoods. They're terrorizing our kids and everything like that. We need to do something about it." Which is another, like you said, immigration is a big thing. Right now, it's still the economy. I do believe the immigration is going to continue to be a big thing and get bigger as well.
Absolutely. And the economy, like I said, that's what people have voted for. Now they're wanting to, well, they trust Trump. They know everything's going to be okay. They're like, Trump's got this. The economy is going to be okay. What's going to happen with immigration? And I think that's where it gets very controversial, because you have about half of the people, and I've talked about this a lot. If you go listen to my podcast, I talk about this because it needs to be talked about. There's literally this half of the world who thinks deport everyone, and the other half who thinks, oh no, there has to be another way. And so, what do you do? How do you solve it, right? Because the crisis is, we have a huge amount of illegal immigrants in America, and some of them are very, very dangerous. And so, how do you solve that, right? Some people are for a border being closed, and some people are not for a border being closed. But why is it important to have a border that's closed, or all that? And these people, when I say these people, I talk about people where I come from, because I came from very broke, poor places. Unfortunately, we don't know what America is like, and we don't know how to succeed in America. So we think we're bringing the right things to America when we're not, right? And so that's why we need to educate people before they even come here, so that they can be aligned with us, or else we lose our country. And then what? Then we all don't have freedom, and then we all don't have the ability to do what we came here to do, what our families came here to do. And that's what I want
All right, so
Hispanic
hang on.
to understand.
Rosie wants to know why it's controversial.
What is controversial?
You mentioned
In
something.
The immigration
Oh, it's just
policy,
about the
or
why is
immigration in our community. It's not really controversial in other communities. People like me, like, it's not controversial to me. It's simple to me. You come here fucking legally. Period. It's not that I don't want you here. Okay, just come here. Just come here the right way. With that
yeah,
said, there's a caveat. I do understand that it takes way too long for good people who are trying to use the system to get in here right. Okay, to actually get their citizenship. But you mentioned something as well. All right, like teaching them before they even get here about assimilation. All right, because you got to be willing to come here and want to assimilate and be American. Because if you don't want to, there are plenty of them that come here and just don't want to freaking adjust. All right, and then that's not good either. Um,
correct, yeah. And then
well, they're
so
told they don't
uh,
have to. That's the problem, is that they're being coddled and told, here, we're I don't even know what the right term is. I mean, charity case, maybe? Like, I wouldn't go to any other country and just think, oh yeah, they'll just take care of me. I'm not going to do anything. They'll just put me up somewhere and they'll give me free food and free everything. I mean,
yeah,
where's that even
that's the
mindset come
mindset.
from?
Yep,
hang on,
yep,
hang on,
that's
hang
the
on.
mindset. Oh, go ahead.
No, that's not what Rosie. That's not what she meant. What she meant was teaching. What she was trying to say was that. Hang on, let me take this off the screen. What she was trying to say was that, okay, these people who are coming here don't even know anything about the United States, is what she's trying to say. And like, so they come here, they don't assimilate, they don't want to do anything, all right, and they fucking reap all the benefits of being here in the United States when American citizens are actually, paying. So what she's trying to say is they need to understand what it is to be an American. All right. It has nothing to do with success. Like, anybody could succeed here in the United States. If you put your mind to it and you put in the hard work, anybody could succeed. Keywords: hard work. You got to be willing to fucking grind. All right. Here in the United States to actually make it. So that's how I took it. Okay. That was
Yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
understanding. With
That's not what Democrats want.
Well, in
Democrats want
immigration,
they want a welfare state.
I mean, I think that's like a whole, like, 2 hours thing that we can do, and I would be so happy to come back. But this is what I'll say about immigration. In immigration, I believe that politicians must be held accountable. They told my family to come out here, and they did it. They literally just, I'm not saying like my family, but they're telling people, come out here, and we're gonna give you money, and we're gonna give you houses, and we're gonna give you this.
Right.
Well, these people are coming. These people are
Yeah.
coming. But who's
It's
paying the broken
horrible.
plates?
All right.
These people that are coming are going to be out here with no papers and no voice. No, they're going to be hiding. They're going to be traumatized. They're not going. What's the point of them coming, right? But literally, you see videos of, and I know people. I've met people, and they're like, "I'm here because I was told that I can do something here, and they came with that thought of getting handouts, but now they've learned that that's not how it works, and they've changed their mindset. So what we need to do is we need to change hearts and minds. Now, I'm not saying that illegal immigration, excuse me, is right. It's not right. We need a better. I believe we need a better way. And again, I can keep going. If you have more questions about immigration,
They
go listen
want,
to my last
I mean,
podcast.
the biggest problem with that, though, and I agree that that's what they're doing. The biggest problem with that is, though, they're literally creating a second class of citizen
They
in
are.
this country. You
That's
know, because
intentionally.
they're not saying, "Hey, come to this country," because you know what? My neighborhood needs more accountants. My
Right.
neighborhood actually needs some more doctors, and you can come in and we'll set you up with as a physician here. In my, they're not doing that. What are they? I mean, you literally hear the uh, the, the snarkiness, the fucking attitude of people, even on TV, that are
Yeah.
like, "Well, if you kick them out, then who's going to pick all the fruit?" Like, that's what they literally think of these people. And
Yeah.
I know that they're not, that that's not what they are. You know, there probably are a lot of great people. That's been going on for forever. You know, you see
Yeah.
the cab, especially like in New York, the cab driver in New York. You know, in my country, I was I was this or I was that. And that's not a Hispanic thing. That's from any country. They come
Yeah.
here, they got to start over, and they got to work their way back up. But
Yeah.
they're
It
literally creating a class of citizen that they can rule over, and
it
they can
was
just give crumbs
100%.
to.
100%.
It's
Okay.
disgusting.
That's
100%.
exactly what I'm talking about, Scott. That's exactly what I said in my thing. I'm like, we don't want the crumbs. We don't want like we need to
Yeah.
be we're equal. We're that's why it's called honestly, that's why I call it an American Latina. Because a lot of people would call me a Latina who's American. Like, no, an American. You know, I'm an American. And so, anyways, I was gonna
And
say I totally agree with that. And so with Hispanics, the thing is, with a lot of people who come from the places that I come from and hear these things like, oh, just come out here, right? We believe these things. We believe these things, like you said, Big Red, in the beginning. You listen to Univision, Telemundo, and all these things, right? But and if you haven't seen Scarface, go watch Scarface. I think Scarface is
Actually,
like,
yeah. Yeah. When he's coming through customs and he has that fucking argument with the dude and everything, he's talking about communism and everything like that. Yeah, that was a fantastic intro. But yeah,
mhm,
I hear where you're coming from. It's the illusion, right? They give them the illusion that we're going to give you everything and we're going to set you up, right? And they did that for 4 years. They were doing that. They flat out did that. Okay, it wasn't just the Biden administration opened up the floodgates, stopped everything. Any executive orders he needed to put in place, he did. Any executive orders that were already in place, he got rid of. Okay, and it was to open the floodgates. Going back to what Scott was saying, right? It was to what do you call it? To have a permanent class for the Democrats. Okay, a slave class. All right, we're going to give you everything. You're going to be we're going to give you all the entitlements in the world. They were giving these people freaking $5,000 debit cards, $13,000 in some cases, okay, in food
mhm,
stamps and whatnot and everything. And they
crazy.
came here and they went. It's like, yeah, this is great, easy peasy. Putting them up in 5-star hotels in major cities and whatnot, not having to worry about taking out the job. They had everything taken care of them while the American citizen was paying. All right, because like you said, they were putting that out over the airwaves. You were hearing it on freaking, like I said earlier, and you just said Telemundo and Univision and Magalorian just says some this one too right here. This fucking CBP1 app, okay, that they made. All right. They were getting all their information. All you had to do was check in and stuff like that, and
Mhm.
everything. It was ridiculous. And of course they don't show up to their appointments and everything because they're just living off the fat of the land.
Yeah,
And
why
it's not
not?
even
Why
just
would they?
by the way, it's not even just Hispanic immigrants, all right? That's one aspect of this fucking shit show that we got going. We don't even know how many of who are on the terrorist watch list that are in our country right now. Okay, we have a shit ton of Chinese that came in through the fucking border as well. Okay, a whole fucking bunch of Africans that came in. So it's not
Asians.
okay. It's just from all Asian countries and everything like. But it was just mainly we had a lot of Chinese, and we know the Chinese aren't our friends. Okay, I suspect a lot of them were to fucking come in, infiltrate the United States, and do nefarious things, right? Because that's what they do. So uh, it's just terrible. And you see videos of these people talking about oh, I'm gonna get this and I'm gonna get that, that's why I came, and that shit's gonna be coming to an abrupt end very, very soon, and I'm very, very happy for that. All right, they're gonna shut that shit down. I have no problems with anybody coming to this nation, okay? um
You know
because
what? And by the way, those people telling them to come here are the ones sitting on TV eating $50 tubs of ice cream
yeah,
and saying, everything's great.
and it just, but it blows our system up, all
It's
these immigrants that
out
have
of
come in.
touch.
Yeah, it's complete, but it's blown our systems up, right? Our schools are fucking overcrowded. The hospitals are overcrowded. Every institution we got, what that we're giving, free stuff to what do you call it? To these illegal immigrants. I call them criminal aliens because that's to me who they are. That's it. The minute you step on our land and you didn't come through a protocol and you didn't actually do it the right way, to me, it's just forget it. You're a criminal alien. You're not going to change my mind on that. Okay. I know there are a lot of them are good people, but the minute you come here the wrong way, you're a criminal, in my opinion. You've broken the law the minute you come here. You didn't come the right way. So we hear stuff like, well, I know you've probably heard it. The administration over the last year has been saying, yeah, we've slowed down, the immigration into the country. What they don't tell you is they're actually just flying them into cities now. All right, that's what they're doing. They get them and they fly them into cities, drop them off in particular red states, a lot of them swing states, because they thought that hey, in the end, we're gonna win this election and we're gonna have all these people that we let in for free, okay, and they're gonna go ahead and they're gonna vote for us, going forward, which is what they really wanted, a new voting block.
Yeah. Yeah, with I mean, with excuse me, with immigration, it's a big thing that's happening, right? Because we have obviously we honestly like I would when I would go door knocking there before we went campaigning, I was doing like questions just to kind of pick people's brains, and it turned out that Hispanics they were like close the border. We believe you should close the border,
Right.
and
Overwhelmingly, by the
that's
way.
they were what was that?
Overwhelmingly, they were just like, close
Oh
the
yeah,
fucking
and they
border.
were like quiet about it. They were like, "Yeah, like and I'm like, you don't understand. Like most people say what you say, and they were scared to mention what they really believed, right? But most Hispanics they knew, like, no, we need to protect the border. Now that's one crisis, right? That was one thing, but then we have the people who are here now. We have 3 million cases of people who are waiting for their court dates. 85 to 90%, get that, 85 to 90% are not going to qualify for asylum
Yep.
because they're not going to qualify under the race, the politic, or it's like three different things that you can qualify under. And they don't have that, right? Their political view, their religious view, or their race. And they come here because they're afraid of gangs or whatever. Guess what? Don't qualify for asylum. So what's going to happen to these people? And what if they don't show up to their court dates, right? So
Yeah.
it's like, man, like it's crazy. It's just a bunch of different scenarios that you really have to think about.
Yeah, I personally think that this new administration is going to go. Listen, first they're gonna go after the gangsters first. That's the hardcore criminals. They've already said it a million times. They're gonna go after them first. That's their first priority, is to get the Venezuelan gangs, the remnants of MS-13 that Trump was actually destroying in his first term. He was actually uprooting them, okay, all out of the Northeast and stuff like that, and sending them in mass back to what is that, Nicaragua. Okay, they're all gonna get caught up and they're going, right? And then they are gonna go after people who don't, like you just said, don't meet the criteria. And it's just something that has to happen. It's gonna probably be a little bit of a humanitarian thing. A lot of people don't care about that anymore. They just seen how the system has just been blown up and has been rigged against them on a lot of things, not just with immigrants, with everything. It's just one more issue that the people in this country, and like you said, a lot of Hispanics, okay, were like, yeah, close the fucking border. We don't want these people here either, okay? Especially those that got here and it took a long time. Like I said earlier, it took Rosie 24 years, okay, to get her citizenship. 24 fucking years. That's, to me, is a travesty. She's a good
I was
citizen,
gonna say, please, let's fix that system. Rosie deserved her papers way before 24 years or 25 years. That's
a-
crazy.
and she served in the U.S. Air Force.
Oh
Okay,
my goodness. Oh my goodness.
you know what I'm saying? So like, she did her part. Okay, she should have had her citizenship. I mean, she's been a citizen for a while now, but like, it shouldn't have taken her 24 fucking years. She came here as a little girl, okay, legally the right way, okay, with her family and stuff like that, and it took them
What
24
do you
years to get a
what
citizenship.
do you think is a good amount of time? I'm just curious.
Uh,
I don't
you know,
know. I'm not trying to be a part of this. I'm just
no,
wondering
no,
like
no. It's kind of,
what is a
I mean,
good amount of time?
I
Like
think there's
2 years?
probably got to. I think there's just got to be some parameters that have to be met, right? Like making somebody wait 24 years to meet parameters is just ridiculous, right? So there's got to be, you have to honestly should show that you're a good product of society, right? You're working, you're doing, once you get your like your what is it, your residency and stuff like that, you should be working. You shouldn't be freaking on the damn government tit period. Little things that show that you're trying to assimilate. Obviously they make you take the tests and all that other stuff, the US the what do you call it, the US history tests and all that other stuff. I get all that and everything, but just being a constructive person in society once you get your residency and showing that you're actually making the effort to be American. Nobody's telling you have to stop eating fucking pasteles or fucking chimichangas and shit. Nobody's telling you have to stop that. You don't have to give up your culture, okay? But you should want to come here and be an American. Period. You know, how,
Period.
how, ma- how many years you put on that? I
You're talking about people that come here. You're talking. I'm thinking about two different things. I'm talking about someone
okay.
who like applies for citizenship and they're not here,
Hmm.
and wants to become an American. And you're talking about someone who maybe got a work visa or a student visa or something like that, and maybe they're
No,
I mean, that's
no, I'm
that's the
talking
here,
thing.
no.
and
There's
then they
different
start,
ways.
the process of
No, but
becoming a
but that's but
citizen.
that but that's part of it too. No, no, it's not just that. I'm talking about them too. The person you're talking about too, who comes in through a
Mm.
protocol, right? And they request asylum for whatever reason. First, like
Well, who cares?
American.
I'm not even worried about asylum. I think that's a completely different process. I'm just talking about
Uh,
immigration. What about
well,
someone who just wants to become an American?
So I'll
You
say
see
this, that
what
there's a
I'm
lot
saying?
of Hispanics who are just, and I say Hispanic because that's my community. I talk to them. I know them. I know immigration has to do with so many other cultures and races, but in the
Mhm.
Hispanic community, a lot of people, they really like think that, you know what, there's no real pathway. I need to get over here. They're telling me to come over here and da, da, da. And so they don't even apply or nothing because they feel like we're never going to qualify. It takes 10, 20 years. So in other countries, it takes 3 to 4 weeks. Now, am I saying it's going to take that little here? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Never get it down to
Everyone
3 or 4
would
weeks
be.
here.
Everyone would be
yeah.
here. Everyone wants to be here. We have to have a way more safer system than 3 to 4 weeks. But what I will say is
Sometimes,
it has to be a lot sooner than 24 years.
sometimes I wonder though, because you remember everybody's situation is a little bit different, and sometimes you hear stories like that, and you wonder, well, were they submitting everything when they needed to submit it? Did they have did they not have paperwork that they needed to provide? Did they miss deadlines and then they had to start all over again? I'm not trying to pick on the person in the chat who was talking about that, but sometimes that's the reason too, right? I mean,
Yeah,
we're irresponsible people all over the world. I mean, there's plenty of I've been irresponsible in my life and screwed up things and had to start over again. Um, you wonder,
yeah.
is the situations like that. Personally, I mean, I would think I, I know how the bureaucracy runs. I mean, we'll never get it under a year. I
Yeah.
doubt we'll ever get it under a year. We'll probably never get it under 2 years, but I mean, I think 1 year is probably fair. If you hit all the steps you need to hit, you pass all the qualifications you need to have, whether it's lack of a criminal record or, I don't know what I don't even know all the questions they ask. But if you can't get
Yeah.
it down to a year, I think it's ridiculous. I mean, it should be a year, as long
That's
as
the
you qualify.
thing, Scott, that we're saying, that I'm saying is like, people are having trouble to get here, so they are asking for a better
Yeah.
way. And I'm not saying though that it's okay for them to come illegally. It's absolutely not okay. But what I am saying is we need to hold the politicians accountable. We need a solution. Hold the politician accountable, and let's find Congress, let's find a solution to this and agree on a solution to this so
It,
that we
that,
can move forward.
I hate the fact that it's always one. It always seems to be like one or the other, right? It always seems to be like, well, we're not gonna address the immigration until the border's secure. We're not gonna secure the border until the immigration thing's fixed. Why
yeah.
does
It's
it have to
back
be?
and forth.
Why does it have to be both? Like you should both. You should. We all suffer from it, from
Yeah.
both
It could be
things
done.
never getting done,
It could be done at the same time, but all I know is that it definitely
or
takes.
individually, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it sucks that it should even be a nonpartisan issue. Like it should just be something that okay, yeah, we should. Why shouldn't we want to fix the immigration process? I want to fix the immigration process. I don't want it to be
Yeah.
24 years. I don't want it to be 10 years.
Right.
What's the problem? I mean, the main problem is it's not streamlined enough. To be honest, that's something that someone like a Vivek could come in and probably streamline the fuck out of that
You could probably
and just
streamline it,
get it
yeah,
done. Or an
because
Elon
like
Musk could come in and just be like, "Well, this is how you get it done. You just need this many people for this many people for
yeah,
this much time." It's someone
it's
with that
just
type of a mind.
my thing is
Because
it takes way too long for good people who are trying to come here and do it the right way. You know what I'm saying? So I
do we
agree with
ever
you. I
see an
disagree.
actual good proposal, though? Have we seen a good proposal? Like all we ever hear from politicians is, "Well, we need to get this fixed."
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
no, and that's
Right?
why. Yeah, we
If
need.
someone just would lay it all out exactly how to do it, we could get to
Yeah.
a point where it'd be like, okay, vote on the damn thing.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
If you need to create whatever whoever's in charge of it, if it's just the border patrol, not just not the border patrol, but if it's just
Yeah,
the
it's
immigration, get them the amount of people they fucking need. Get them but someone has to present a very clean and easy plan.
yeah. Yeah,
Say, here,
again,
let's pass this first, then we get the funding, then we get the people, and then we get it done.
There are some bills that are being actually looked at right now. There are some proposals. There's a couple of different things that are happening in the background, but I'm talking big, huge
In the
organizations pouring a lot of
background.
money, yeah,
yeah,
onto
It
this.
is. It's
a
definitely
lot
not going to be
but a
cheap
lot
and
yeah,
easy. I
but
understand.
a lot of those NGOs and stuff like that, that's a whole other talk show that fucking help these people get into the country, okay,
I know
illegally and
it's
stuff like that.
big
They
money.
help them get in. It's big money for them. They're getting paid by the government to do it and so on. That shit's got to get ripped apart.
Mhm.
I definitely my whole thing is always securing the border but I'm with you on that, Scott. There's no reason why we can't secure the border and start figuring this shit out, so it doesn't take someone, a good family that's trying to come here the right way, okay, and just wants the fucking a better life, all right, and does things like serving their fucking nation, all right, but it still takes them 24 years. That's bullshit. That is a crock of shit. Okay,
Rosie,
that
you're
is a
the
crock of shit.
perfect example
If
of
they're,
that, girl.
if they're doing everything the right way, then yeah, it should never
It
take
shouldn't.
that long.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's like Rosie's family came here the right fucking way, and it took them 24 years. And like I said, she even served in that time. That's, to me, that's a problem. Okay, she's giving you the fucking the ability to take her life in combat. Okay, if it comes to that, all right. She's given up service to this nation because she loves this country, not because she just like. If you knew anything about Rosie, she loves this fucking nation. Okay, and you
Mhm.
can never take that from her, right? And like I said, she served. She's got people in her family who serve, a current family who served and whatnot. But that's what I'm saying. Like she did everything right. Okay, her family did everything right, and it took them fucking forever. And that just, to me, and this goes back before our problem right now, right? Because like she's around our age and stuff like that. So this is a problem that's been going on forever. And like Scott said, why can't we do both? We can still secure the border. We can still fucking get rid of people that need to go because they're just people that got to go. They just got to go. I mean, it's not fair.
And that,
There are still people who are on a waiting list, okay, who've been trying to get into this country 10, 15 fucking years while we're giving, like I said before, people fucking five-star hotels and whatnot and everything like that to hang out,
yeah,
okay,
we're
and stuff like
rewarding
that.
people to do it the wrong way. Unfortunately,
Yes. But
all that money spent. Just think about the amount of money that's spent in the last 4 years. And I have no idea what that amount is, but we all know it's pretty much the entire FEMA budget, whatever that was for the last 4 years.
yeah, they've been
Um, Imagine if you just spent that on, staff and processing and just you could have spent that money in so much better way. It's one of the biggest just makes me sick to my stomach what we've had to endure this last 4 years is that they just one thing they know how to do is fucking waste money.
yeah. Hopefully Doge will be able to fucking
Waste when
take
it's
care of
not
that.
when it's not their money, by the way.
Yeah. Hopefully Doge.
Oh my God, maybe those would be the answer. You know what? That wouldn't that be
Yeah.
amazing if they do nothing else? Maybe they'll
So
shut a
Rosie,
couple of agencies down if they do
Rosie,
nothing
you're
else. But if
getting
they actually fix that
hang on,
problem,
hang on,
that'd be
hang
great.
on, Rosie, you're getting fucking upset, and we're actually defending you. I don't understand that. I just understand that you're calling us out and shit like that, and we're actually defending you. That yeah, we don't know
No,
what it takes to be a citizen. We're
yeah,
saying that
Rosie,
it's
we're
bullshit that it took 24 years for you to become a fucking citizen, and you were willing to give up your life in service to this nation for that. We're with you. Yeah, we don't know. I don't know what it's not. I was born here. Whether I was born here or on the island of Puerto Rico, I would still be a fucking still be an American citizen, right? So,
Yes,
like, I don't
girl.
know.
We're with you. Like, we're definitely defending you. That's what we're saying is people like you are amazing and there's so many more stories like you out there, and that's why your story is valuable because you're someone with a perfect example of what a great person. It took them 24 years to get papers. Like you did more than your part, right? So that's what we're talking about. So we're definitely not coming against you. You're a perfect example of people we want to have here in America.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not. Nobody's going after you, Rosie. You know, I would never do that. I've known you forever. And I would never do that. And I don't
No,
think anybody. I
I'm
hope I haven't been paying
I'm
attention to
mad.
the chat, so I
Yeah.
hope nobody's going after her in the fucking chat because that would be fucked up.
I,
We're
I
mad
think
for
I've been
you.
pretty clear. We're mad at the freaking politicians.
Yeah,
We're
and we're
mad at
mad
the
at the.
people
Right.
wasting money, time, and playing with people's lives, basically, who whatever, I don't care where anybody comes from to be an American. I want this I don't want the system to be fucking them around and then them telling them to do something else, which is technically against the law either, you know,
Yeah,
and on top of that, blowing billions of dollars in the process just to say, see, everything's under control. Like what the fuck is in control?
Rosie, we love
You're
you,
just
Mama.
making it worse. You're
This is
making it
trust
so
me.
much worse.
Yeah, this is all a fight for you, for people like you and your family, for the shit that you guys had to go through. You know, um, we've had plenty of discussions, you and I. So this is not. I'm telling you, this has nothing to do. I don't. You know, I can tell you, Gabriela is an immigrant too, so I know she understands the process that she went through to become a citizen. All right, I'm not. I couldn't tell anybody what it was unless I went to another country. But I'm not going anywhere because I ain't giving this country up for shit. Okay,
My
so
my grandfather probably did the same thing Rosie did. I don't know how long it took him to get here, but
yeah.
he was an immigrant, and he
Hmm.
served the country.
Yes.
He came in and he
Wow.
served the military. He served the
Wow.
military. He did a tour. He did a tour in Korea. He did a tour in Vietnam. That's what the time he was.
This is
And
great. Well, this is what I'm saying. Like we come from somewhere in the lineage. There's the immigrant right there. And whether
mhm,
you did it the right way or not right now where we're at, we need to have it done the right way. But we have cases like Rosie where it's like, man, like she should have had her papers a long time ago. She should have been a citizen a long time ago. She's amazing, right? And that's what we want to be able to do. Because Scott and Big Red, we're not listening to stories like Rosie's, right? Where it's like, oh my God, like that's crazy. Yeah, we want a secure border, but we also want to make sure Rosie's gonna be okay with her family. And so that's what I'm talking about. Politicians being held accountable for things like that, where families are struggling when they don't need to be struggling. But again, that's a whole nother subject.
So, all right, you said you immigrated here too. Your
Oh,
parents
I
moved
was
here.
gonna clear that out. I am not an immigrant.
Okay.
I actually was born in California.
Okay,
My
my bad, chat.
parents.
I got that wrong. That's on me. That's not on her.
It's
So I'll
okay.
take
My parents
responsibility.
came from Mexico. Both of them. They came from Mexico. They did not come here the right way. They didn't. They didn't come here the right way. And
mhm.
I was born here, so I would be what's known to be called the anchor baby, right? But however, I understand the importance of having a closed border, even though I come from illegal parents,
Parents.
right?
Yeah.
So I could talk about it because I come from it.
Scoob, hang on, Scoob, you want my hat, brother? Scoob, where you been, man? I haven't seen you in a long time. It's been a minute. We haven't seen you since election night.
Yeah, we haven't seen him in a while.
I don't know, we haven't seen you in a minute, Scoob. Well, Rosie, and then I love you, and I'll always have you back. This fight is for people like you, okay? And and American Latina said, hey, she's told her story. She's saying, honestly, my parents didn't come here correctly, but I'm an American citizen because I was born here. But she understands the fight of fucking. We still need a closed border, and her parents probably now, years later, probably feel the same fucking way. It's like, oh shit, we do need a closed border.
Exactly.
Wait,
Exactly. That's
wait a minute. Wait a minute. Jonathan has some. What do you call it? Has it, Jonathan? I know. I posted on Instagram about the government wanting to break them up. Has it actually started the Google fucking breakup?
Oh, I don't
Oh,
think it started yet.
yeah. I don't know yet. So, But anyway, that's just it's just fucking tough shit. It's a tough situation. It is definitely a humanitarian situation, and whatnot. But but this is again, I'm gonna get into something right now that has to do with this. It has to do with the border, and this is the shit that we have to fix right away. It has to be fixed. We can't wait on it or anything like that. This is a House report. Oh, yeah, you guys are gonna love this shit. We're gonna really upset people with this one. Here we go. Bombshell House Judiciary report: criminals, sex traffickers used Biden-Harris parole pipeline to get into the U.S. Migrants tied to criminality, sex traffickers, and fraudsters have used President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris's parole pipeline to get into the United States. A bombshell interim staff report from the House Judiciary Committee reveals. Holy shit, man. This is every time, it seems like every day it's like something new with them. Every day it's like something new with like, we're finding out about them. This is the shit that we're talking about that we're trying to prevent, right? Uh, it's
Yes,
just a
yes,
tough
yes.
thing.
Yep. So there's a lot of them migrating out here because they heard that Donald Trump is not going to be pretty much deporting criminals, and they're like, "Well, I'm not a criminal," so now they think they can come, and I'm like, "That's not what he meant, guys." So
Yeah,
we
yeah, you're
have
still going.
people
Uh-oh. Wait a minute. We got somebody in the house.
and another thing too is that oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. No, no, keep talking. Keep
Oh,
talking.
okay. Yeah. So within Trump, they're saying, okay, they're not going to deport us, so because we're not criminals. But I will say what you just said is absolutely correct. Immigration tied to human sex trafficking, and that's a whole nother subject that's tied into it, and why I am so passionate about immigration, because a lot of immigrant children have been lost, and that's not okay.
Right. Oh, wait a Patriot, you're not on. I can't see you. I gotta bring you on. Hang on, hang on, hang on.
Our
Let me bring
camera's
her
off.
over.
There you go.
PatriotMotherVision has arrived.
Hello,
And
guys.
now her camera's doing all kinds of funny things. We can't see you. Wait a minute. All right, up a little bit more, and almost there, almost there, almost there. Up a little bit more. There you go.
Better.
What are you in your car?
Yeah,
She's hitting us from the car phone.
yeah. It's alone.
Probably in traffic.
Are you in traffic, or are you in the garage in the car getting privacy?
Oh, I'm like, dude, I just came back. Traffic is bad over here. But sorry, yeah. Look, I gotta agree with immigration on that. I'm from San Diego, California. It's really bad. I actually, as a kid, I actually used to traffic. I ended up getting trafficked.
Wow.
Yeah, I ended up So my very first boyfriend, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so in love," And then next thing you know, because okay, we got to bring our family, through the border. And it wasn't that, dude. He was messing up. He was smuggling. And next thing you know, I'm caught up in this, and I'm like, dude, I'm so scared. Like I didn't know what to do. I was a kid. I was literally like 14 until like 18.
Wow.
And
You okay telling this story?
yeah, I'm fine. It's been so long. And I
We can't
actually,
see. We only see your mouth, Mama.
God, can you see
There you
me now?
go.
Okay.
We can see you.
Yeah, I was saying like this happened a very long time ago, so I actually went through like a lot of therapy and stuff like that, to just get over the trauma, because there was times where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be killed because they fight over, the people that are going through the border and all that. Because we would always end up going at like 3 in the morning, so we would be going like at that time to get these people, and I'm like, dude, I don't want to go. I don't want to go this time. And I ended up getting beat up, like being told like my family's gonna get killed if I don't go, all these things, like as a kid. And I'm over here like, oh my gosh, I have to go to school tomorrow, in my head, because I was a kid, like I don't even know how I did it, but I got through it, and I'm still here, so
Oh, we're glad you're here. I'm really glad that
yeah. Yeah, and I'm glad you're passionate about that, because as a kid you don't know, like you're just so scared, you don't know what to do. when you're in these situations where someone's like I used to get beat up. Like I used to get beat up so bad. Like it's crazy because I remember I had full picture day, and I think he beat me up on purpose so like I couldn't show my face, and they did makeup and everything, but I believe that there was these things where they're like, okay, well, make sure, you just beat her up. And he had an older brother too, and I remember the brother was like, defend yourself, because I would just be like, okay, stop already. I know he's a man, he's stronger, um and these times where I knew that if it wasn't for, me praying about it, like I would have been killed like so many times. Like there was those times where, like I said, things would happen and somebody else would come up and say, "Oh, well, that's our load." Like they said, like that's their people that they needed to get across, and we would say, "Well, that's ours. Like please leave us alone or whatever." But there was one time that they tried to take the people that we were with, and we ended up giving them what we had. Like it was, weed and like cocaine. Um, I don't know if I'm gonna get banned for actually saying that.
No,
Um,
I don't give a shit. Say whatever you got to say.
You'll
Tell your
be okay.
story. I don't care. We'll be all right.
yeah. So they ended up taking the drug, the stuff that we had. And then like later on, it's so crazy because like I don't know if you guys do that, but I watch documentaries and stuff, and it was all just a fallacy, like the war on drugs, and like I learned about that guy, Kike Camarena.
Yeah.
That Yeah, I was like, oh my goodness, this is so fake, dude. Like there was never a war on drugs.
No, that's a whole other show. Getting into that is a whole other show and stuff like
Like
don't even get me started on that. That's a whole other talk show. But most of all, I'm just glad that, I'm glad we got you nowadays. I'm glad you're okay.
yeah.
I'm glad that you were able to get through that and, you're living a better life now.
Oh
I know
yeah.
that I know this is I can't imagine what you went through, so I won't ever know how you feel. I carry my own PTSD, my own scars from other things, from war and everything like that. But I obviously don't know what it's like to be abused like that and stuff. So I'm just glad, and I will absolutely pray for you again tonight, because it's just I'm just glad we're here, and I'm glad
That
you're here because your
and
voice
that's
is important.
Thank you guys.
yeah, Patriot Mother Vision. That's what I mean. Like her story, right? I mean, her story is so powerful, and there are kids out there right now going through the same thing because politicians
400,
decided to take people.
almost 400,000 kids are missing right now. Okay,
Because
that
politicians decided to tell them to come out here. And there's so many different things. Like you said, it's a whole nother topic. Maybe we could do a whole nother life on this. But stories like hers that need to be heard, that people are going through right now. Now imagine you're brought out here, you're a kid, you've been raped, you've been human trafficked, you've been all this stuff, and now they're trying to kick you out, and you've been here 30 years, you don't even speak the language of your country, and like imagine all those stories out there. So that's why I'm saying that immigration is not just like, oh my God,
I
there are
well,
so many cases because of
kids.
human trafficking that are happening right
I have no problem with saving kids who are being human trafficked and kept in this country. That's not the issue for me. The issue is saving them. That's the first thing has to be is trying to find them and save them. I'm hoping that Tom Harmon could come in and put a dent in that a little bit. I don't know how much he'll be able to do that as the borders are, but he was very good, like I said, about
Mhm.
cracking down on human trafficking. The first 4 years of Trump, he was Trump's guy. Okay, and he's got the means, he's got the knowledge and the means to try to get into that. So you know uh
Guys, real quick, I
I
do have to head out. I just want to say thank you so much for having me, though. I will come back whenever you invite me again. I would love to keep talking about this and hearing even more stories. So if you have a story like these, please let us know because we want to hear from you. So again, thank you guys for having me so much.
Thank you.
Thanks you.
All right, thank
Thanks.
you. Hang on. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us, American Latina. We definitely want you back. And definitely come in and hang out with us. All right. Once again, and we'll talk about some other stuff. Thanks for giving us your insight also about stumping and everything like that for Brown and the other candidates that you stumped for to try to help get elected. There was some good knowledge to give people.
Oh, wait. I'm all wait up. It looked familiar now. Ah.
Yep. That's Gabriella.
Guys, go follow me. Either my personal, I am Gabby Escudero, or you can follow me at an American Latina. I'll see you guys next time.
All
All right.
right.
Thank you.
Is that's what she is on Instagram, huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. You can sign out. And then there you go.
You know what? I think I have her. I think I have her election night post pinned on my feed.
Oh no
When
way.
So
yeah,
wait a minute.
her.
This is for you. This is for you, Patriot Mother. This is Rosie Riveter. She's family to me. She's my family, my prima. She says documentaries are her thing. And one of the things that we were talking about before you came on was the fact that, it took Rosie and her family 24 years to get their fucking papers, and they came here
Oh
the right way. Okay,
goodness.
they came here the right way. All right, and
Oh
not only that, okay, but Rosie served in the U.S. Air Force as well. So like she took it, and she wanted to be an American so bad she took it another fucking step. Okay,
Mhm.
because she loves this country, and like if you ever have any conversations with her, you'll know how much she loves this country and loves being here and being an American citizen. So that was one of the things that we were talking about, before you came on, was like, um telling Rosie that we understand her fight. I
yeah.
don't understand what it is to be an immigrant because, like I said before you got here, I was born here in the United States, but even if I was born on the island of Puerto Rico, I'd still be an American citizen. So
Yeah.
um, that was one thing. But even before that, we were talking about American Latina. Okay, she was stumping for Brown and some other candidates in Nevada, and then
Oh
you got a little bit more going on with the Shenanigans. You know what's going on, right? In
yeah.
Nevada, so you
Yeah.
can report on that.
Yeah. So that's what we were talking about. 9 days to count, and then Nevada's population in 2024, it's about um it's close to 3 million, okay? And then Florida's population is getting close to 23 million. So Florida in 1 day, Nevada in 9 days. So something is really off. And like I said, in Nevada, there's no way that all of those votes came in for Rosen. Like I was literally talking to
Mhm.
her campaign people, like the canvassers. I was like, "Hey, so what's it look like for you?" Because I was out there a lot, and I would run into them, and they'd say, "Oh no, Sam is the one that's gonna get it." So it just tripped me out because he was on top, and all of a sudden he wasn't. Like that tripped me out because all
Mhm.
votes were supposed to go to. If it's fair, it was gonna go to both of them. Because
Right.
from what I hear, like nobody likes her. She's another Pelosi. Um, she's not really, the candidate that people wanted. They wanted change. I mean, it turned red. Like, how do you explain that too? Like, when I would talk to people about Sam Brown, they'd be like, okay, the only concern is like that. There was a lot of commercials because I would see him, a lot of commercials that said, that he was against abortion and stuff. But they said we still voted for him. So
Right.
that's the thing. Like, yeah, they could say that it might have been the abortion thing, but no, a lot of them voted for Trump and him.
Right.
So that right
Mhm.
there tells me that he won. And then suddenly all those votes that also got deleted,
The
that
midnight dump.
yeah, that also was like, wait, whose votes, like, do we need to call them up and ask like if our votes even got counted? Because we're sitting here like a week later and they're saying that they're supposedly still counting
Se-
votes.
17 days later.
Right. It's like, what are they doing? And then
I'll,
when
I'll bet you a bunch of people, if they call up like a month from now and just to like check what their vote was, I'll bet you they probably won't even be able to find it.
Yeah.
right, it's like I
Um,
called all these places and I called Sam Brown's office too. They're like, we tried to, I mean, Joe Lombrano, the governor. We tried it, they said the same thing you guys said. They tried to get, some kind of initiative where like if the signature wasn't correct or something, or if they didn't, it wasn't someone that was obviously like legitimate to just scratch that. But look at what they did. They're like,
The
no,
the
pass.
Nevada the Nevada Supreme Court set that up though. in the beginning, we reported on that. Scott and I have reported on that, how their decision about being able to count, just to count fucking every ballot and even the shitty ones that came back, with questions and stuff like that. So the Nevada Supreme Court kind of set that up because the Republican Party was trying to push back on that prior to and stuff. So again, this is just 17 days later, and they're still counting, and we should have Sam Brown as a U.S. senator.
Yeah.
So it's just
I
this.
would
They
think
did
it
the
would
same.
piss off people more than it does.
Yeah. It's just like we're sitting here.
That's the most frustrating part of it, is that there's literally not, people will freaking gather in the streets over the dumbest shit.
For real.
They'll freaking march and they will protest and they will riot. And I'm not suggesting that anybody needs to riot for anything, but if there was something that should get people up in arms, to grab like their metaphorical pitchforks and be like, what, this is unacceptable. It's something like this. But there's people in Nevada, I'm sure, they just don't even care or don't even know.
Yeah, you know what? The people that I did talk to would say, "Oh, I didn't know." So the people that would gather these ballots, okay, was the Culinary Arts Union, or the Culinary Arts people, the union. Sorry, I'm a nose. My nose is all bleh. But these people would go to these houses. This lady I talked to, she talked in Spanish. She didn't even talk English. I'm like, okay, ¿qué pasó? And she's like, oh, well, this guy came and took my ballot, but he knows that these two people that were not there, he's asking like, what happened to their ballots. So they took the ballots and they put,
Whatever they wanted on it.
yeah. So, I mean, they definitely,
That's the what do you call it? The ballot harvesting. That's what they when they harvest ballots. That's what they do, right? Um, if they're not changing your vote or putting the vote in there for you, they're taking the votes that they already have staged, get rid of all the shits that they harvested. They don't even care, and then they dump all the votes for one person, like they did, right? And they chuck all the other ones and stuff like that they harvested from people. So it is
yeah,
just a disaster. Again, it goes back to local elections, right?
yeah,
Um, but it's not just it's not just voting locally, right? Like you vote for someone who's good, you have to keep them accountable, right? Politicians in this country know that they're not accountable to us right now
yeah,
because we don't primary their asses out, right? Because maybe we get a fucking community center built in our fucking neighborhood, and all we think, oh, they did something for us because the kids can play basketball in the community center. But all the other shit that they do that that didn't work out for the community and stuff like that, you're not paying attention to,
Yeah.
So it's just a terrible thing, and America has to wake the fuck up. Let me just get a message out. Hey, if you're just joining us, I see some people just coming in. Please say hi in the chat. Say what's up to everybody. If you have any questions for us as we're going along, please drop it in there. I'm gonna try to catch up on some chats, but the chat has been dialoguing with each other, so we appreciate that too. Everybody talking to one another. That's just a fantastic thing. This is what it's all about. Bringing people together and being able to discuss shit. We have pretty like-minded folk on this, in the chat and on this podcast, but we do have some variance in our thoughts, so it's not all complete, and we even have disagreements on things. That's just the way it is, which is, it's always good for the conversation.
yeah.
And Magalorian says something fantastic here. This right on the nail. Okay, until these states get rid of these machines, I've been saying that for years, yo, Magalorian. I've been saying it for years. Also, by the way, before we get it back into this conversation, please like and subscribe and hit the bell for notification. All the chatting that's going on, and then afterward, leave comments about what you thought about the discussion and whatnot. That helps the algorithm too. All right. So, sorry, PatriotMotherVision. So the shenanigans are the shenanigans. They're doing the same shit they have done going back to forever, and that's the Harry. That, by the way, that's the Harry Reid machine. Okay, that's still there. That still needs to get fucking broken up.
That's what I just realized. When we had the guy Roman on here, like
Mhm.
he knows more about the elections here, because I'm fairly new here. Like, this is my new community. Like, I was born and raised in San Diego, California. But wherever I'm at, like, I'm always active in that community.
Mhm.
So knowing that, like, I didn't even know about Harry Reid. I heard get a lot of money in. That's why people liked him.
Mhm.
But he was a Democrat. You know, he was one of those Democrats who are like, okay, let's keep certain people in power, and just keep everyone together. But it's like these other things happen where obviously someone's getting ripped off. Like, for example, one guy, his name is Jeff Lustig. He was in District 11, and he's the one that put me up on game with the all these damn cones around here, and I didn't know about it. I mean, Las Vegas has a ton of cones, like construction cones, and we're like, wait, what the hell is all this? People get in accidents here all the time, and these cones that get put up everywhere, they charge us for it. They charge people for every single cone. They charge people, and if you come to Vegas, like, it's a at-risk state, so the
Mm.
insurance is pretty high here. Like,
Right.
insurance go sky high, like it's crazy. My insurance is like, I'll tell you guys, it's like $300, okay? And I'm like, dude,
Holy shit.
yeah,
Is that for your car, or is that combined with like car and house and
Crazy.
shit?
yeah, it's like, dude, this is so crazy. I was like,
Oh
dude,
my goodness.
what the heck? Yeah, and it's a lot
I'm
of
in
it.
I'm in New York and I don't even pay that shit. Holy crap. Fuck.
A lot of it is due to the freaking corrupt. I mean, everywhere is corrupted. There's no way around it.
Don't you guys have expensive down in Florida, Fred Day, as well?
Yeah,
Yes. It's getting worse. Yeah. It keeps going
uh,
up.
bad
Holy shit.
like bad drivers too, though. I've ran into very bad drivers. I'm like, dude, you just cut me off. It's bad. Like, I don't know where the hell they get their license from, but
Hey, chat, did you hear that? That she's paying $300 a month in Nevada. Just you don't have to. You just say higher or lower, okay? And the state in the chat. We need to know what everybody. We need to know what people are paying because this shit is ridiculous.
I hope they take you to
Scoop, yo, wait. Scoop says
on the.
says I
Yeah,
hope they take EBT payments.
man,
fucking Scoop. We haven't seen Scoop in a minute with his funny shit, and it's just like they take EBT payments. Oh my god, Jesus,
hey,
that's just insane.
just kidding.
That's insane.
Oakland, California, thugs, graffiti, and old man's hence. Scoop.
Fucking Scoop. Oh my god, he comes out with funny shit all the time. Uh, yo, Scoop, you asked about my hat, but I honestly I got it on fucking Amazon a while ago.
Oh yeah.
I think it's a
No,
new
you
era
gotta.
hat.
We were talking earlier about having a hat rule when you come on live.
Yeah. I got this
We were
one. I got
talking
this
about
one
that.
on what do you call it? I think I got it in Amazon. I think it's a new era joint.
It might be our thing. Everyone's got to come on wear a hat, which is a good thing. 'Cause you
So
don't have to worry about your hair.
I'm trying.
Jessica Velez is from Las Vegas too. Um,
Oh, no way.
Patriot. She says she's right. I'm in Las Vegas. She says she gets saved by the veterans exemption. So is it significant, Jessica?
That's nice. What is the exemption, Jessica? Do they get
Yeah, my hat is probably made in China.
I was trying to get I was like,
Yeah, Radical Reset is probably made in China. You're probably correct.
Mhm.
It looked good, so I had to get it.
I'm trying
And I'm not balding, by the way, so I don't need it. From my age, my hair is still pretty fucking thick
I'm
if I'm
and
I'm
not gray
balding and
yet.
I still wear it. I don't care.
If I was balding, I would just shave my head anyway.
all
Yeah.
right. I got my hat, guys.
You got your hat? You got your hat?
Hey, there you go. She's all set.
All right, we all good. We all good. Everybody's got a hat now. Yo, fucking Scoop. Scoop says, he says, Big Red with
Trade.
the hat. She should trade me for 2 soups and a shot of coffee. Yo,
Dude,
you gotta put some Kahlua in the coffee first, bro.
Mhm.
I got a bad cold.
Yeah, so yeah, we were talking about the shenanigans and whatnot, and it's just terrible what's going on. And the shit that's going on the fucking border. You didn't get to see this before you came in. Hang on, I gotta make some adjustments here. There we go. You didn't get to see this right here about this report from the Judiciary Committee about criminal sex traffickers used Biden and Harris to parole pipeline to get into the country. And that was like we had a long ass discussion on illegal immigration. It went on for a very long time.
Well, it's bad. Like, it's a really bad thing, you know. People think it's just fresh out now. It's been going on forever, but it's easier now because they made it that way. They made it so easy for children to get passed through. And you know what's sad? One, like, obviously, like, if it's one kid that they know will be able to get other kids across, like, say a kid that speaks both languages or whatever, they're gonna recycle that kid so many times. They're gonna take her, him, and be like, okay, you gotta say this is your, siblings or something.
Right.
I know a lot of the stuff. I know a lot of the stuff that happens.
Right. That's just fucking terrible. Well, we're gonna, we're gonna close out here at 10 tonight, guys. But on a bright note, okay, we'll try to end on a good note here, and we'll get a good laugh out of it too while we're at it.
Scoob, where
You
you at?
know,
Oh no.
I don't know. Scoob is out there. Scoob. You gotta show up more often, bro. You gotta show up more often, man.
Yeah.
We need your humor, man, because this shit is just hilarious sometimes.
You know what? I love to just even make fun of myself because, like,
You
life
have to you gotta make fun of yourself.
is finding on myself.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't make fun of, if you don't listen, if we can't make fun of the shit that we do and the things that we say and even the people that we like, you have to. It's the reason why I can watch South Park all day and I can watch Family Guy. Although I stopped watching them for a while because he started to get Seth MacFarlane started to go back to his progressive shit. But then when he started to get beat up by the woke mob, he went back to just fucking everybody over. He's like, and I was like, all right, you're back to doing good shit, you
Oh,
know.
That's the way it should
So
be.
so on a bright note, okay, we're gonna end this out for everybody. Okay, Miss Universe is not a transformer. Did you guys see this?
Nope.
For the first time, like they've been letting Transformers win these fucking competitions and stuff like that. I haven't watched one of these in forever, so it was good to see a Viking fucking win it again. A real woman Viking, and not some fucking, like I said, a Transformer who showed up and because of woke shit they just made him what do you call it, they just said, "Hey, you go," or it's not even just a Transformers. They let some 300-pound behemoth be like Miss Alabama or some shit like that, and well, maybe
Mhm.
that's an Alabama thing. Who knows? You know. So things are looking good. Things are changing a little bit. All right. I think this election, not just here in the United States, everybody, what you gotta have to understand there. I think there was like 48 major elections across the world this year, and the conservative movement, with different variations depending on your country. Some countries way more conservative than others. Okay, is actually moving across the world. So a big thing of getting Donald Trump elected and getting him back to the White House is being able to corral those foreign leaders who are on the same wavelength and on the same page as him, okay, and start trying to make changes, help them make changes in their own countries. Obviously, we can't do it for them, but like, with the right mindset and with the right things going on and help them economically, it just works out for everybody.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Rosie. Rosie says she's so cute. She was. She was fucking gorgeous, man. The Miss Universe, good lord. It was so good to see someone who wasn't a fucking troll winning one of these contests. I was like, oh, thank God, it's a woman.
I,
A beautiful woman at that.
I need to see
Uh
that. I need to catch up on the stuff. I
yeah, but listen, everything has gotten, Scott and I were talking before we came on, and Robert Lucero says he's gonna grab them by their he is. He's gonna grab the leaders of the world by their fucking snatch and be like, "Hey, let's go. We got to get shit done." Um, it's just a good thing. It's good to see that this the woke mind virus. It's still there, hasn't gone away. Okay, but it's
Never will.
the pushback is coming, and
I,
and
trans-
that's a good thing. What'd you say?
I said transitioning back.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It is. It's transitioning back to normal, uh, which is a good thing. It really is. It's just a good thing to see. These are the kind of things we need here in America. And again, this channel is for patriots like you all that come here and hang out with us tonight. Has been a fantastic night. I loved the dialogue that I've seen in the chat amongst you all. talking to one another, okay? Because it's not just about listening to us, it's about you all getting to know each other and us building a community of patriots, right? Because if you listen to me, you're a fucking patriot. If you listen to Red Day, you're a patriot. You listen to PatriotMotherVision, you're a fucking patriot, okay? American Latina who is here earlier, she's a patriot. All right, you heard her story. All right, everybody here on this channel, we love this country and we feel that it's worth saving. All right, and we understand that there's stuff that needs to be fixed. We understand that there's faults that we have in this nation, but you know what? We're the most beautiful fucking republic, the only republic, okay, real republic on this earth, and we can fix it. And the only way we fix it is with all of you. And the only way I get to succeed doing this, okay, fucking 10. Wait. What does Mandalorian say? Oh, I love this. Fucking trans testicles. Yes, Jonathan Stevie. Says my anarchist ass is a patriot. You're a fucking patriot. You're the patriot of the best kind because you'll lead the charge. Same thing with Rosie. Rosie's a fucking anarchist too, and I love her for it.
I see you, Vero. You gave me a shout out. Shout out.
You know. Hang on. Yeah. What is? You know what? I haven't read these.
Oh,
Nina. Rogue Nina says, "Has anyone read the new terms and conditions Meta pushing today?" No, I haven't gotten to that.
I saw those.
pulling that.
Wait a minute. Is this for you? This for you? Love knowing me story.
Oh yeah, thank you, Vero.
Vero, thank you for you're new. I've
You know,
never seen you before, and I just want to appreciate you for coming tonight. Thank you for showing up. Please, everybody, like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification, and share these videos. Any videos you might find on my channel, you can do whatever you need with them. Right? What does he say? In denial, those that make them Decepticons. So anyway, go ahead. You want to say goodnight?
Good night.
Go ahead.
oh,
PatriotMotherVision. Go ahead, PatriotMotherVision, because you jumped in and I know you got to get going. Say goodbyes. Tell everybody where they can find you, and if you got anything you have to plug, go ahead and plug it.
Well, I mean, life is so short, to be honest. I've been I don't know. I mean, in my life, I don't know. I just feel like it's just been too dark to just not joke about life. It's just, for me, it's all that, like, just keep pulling forward. And I don't know if you guys know this, but this year, I give my life to the Lord, and I've been trying so hard to just stay focused on him and, trying to do good, because he is the truth, the way, and the life. And I just get these thoughts in my head when I'm feeling low, and I know that there's a light at the end, so just focus on that prayer and just staying focused on bettering yourself. That's all that I've been trying to do. So yeah, I sound like crap.
It's okay. We know you got to get going. What do you got, Red Day?
I just want to say thanks for everybody who came to listen tonight. It seemed like we had a pretty good audience, and it was very interesting hearing about Nevada specific chat tonight. It's an important state, going forward, and hopefully, it's good to see that we've got some good people there on the ground fighting the good fight. Find me on Instagram at Reddaywalker. Is it still 2.0? Yeah, still 2.0.
Yeah, you got a 3.0. I think you have a 3.0 too, but I got you on.
I do. That's my backup. That's my 3.0 was my public backup. I have a backup to that backup that nobody knows about.
Just for anybody who's still with us, I have everybody's links on their Instagram is in the description, for everybody to go ahead and follow them on Instagram and whatnot. So I got everything for you guys. So I will take us out. I'll see you guys. Scott, hang around. Just for like 5 minutes, okay?
All right, guys.
So I will take us out. All right. Well, America, it's going to be a wrap tonight. We will be back on Monday. We do have a special guest for Monday night, and we're going to get into their experience with the DEI woke stuff, and we touched a little bit on that tonight, hoping that it goes away. But this is a good story to hear, and also how we can, as a nation, we could try to heal a little bit and stuff like that. So it should be a very good discussion. So please, please, please come back on Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern again. And listen, I love you all. Thank you all for being so interactive with one another. It's what makes me thrive. It's what makes this channel thrive. And I can't do this without any of you. Without your support being here, it's just very, very important to have you guys. So I am the Big Red One guy signing out. And remember that only together, okay, and always together, we can break the machine. God bless you all. God bless America. Have a good night. Have a good weekend. And I will see you all on Monday, fam.